4 small cap altcoins that I think have insane potential to see some of the biggest growth over the course of this bull market. And right now, we're still incredibly early for small cap altcoins. Just look at this altcoin season index. It's moving from Bitcoin season towards altcoins. And while we've seen XRP, Sui, Pengu, and other large caps seeing some really strong moves over the past couple of weeks, small cap altcoins in general still remain incredibly undervalued. But that won't be for long, because very soon, once we see bigger confidence return to the market, those small cap altcoins will explode in an enormous way. So we want to position ourselves nice and early into the right small cap coins. Therefore, I've lined a few up for you. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's go find out what they are. Now guys, before we dive across and take a look at those 4 small cap altcoins that I think you're going to love, because some of these have market caps as low as $3 million, and that offers the potential for some really insane upside, we need to understand what's going on in the wider crypto market, what's happening with Bitcoin, and why right now is a great time to position ourselves towards smaller cap altcoins, because the market moves in these cycles from disbelief and worry and fear towards hype and euphoria and excitement. And as soon as we start to hit into those phases, which is pretty much the direction we're heading in, small cap altcoins wake up all of a sudden. And let me prove it to you. You see this is the altcoin season index. It shows you when it's the right time to hold Bitcoin versus when it's the right time to hold altcoins. And if we jump back to November time, you can start to see that while Bitcoin had been going up from basically September, we still remained in Bitcoin season. And then all of a sudden, we moved towards altcoin season, pushed up towards December, where many small cap altcoins were pumping like crazy, going up like 7, 8, 9x in just a single week. And as you can see, this is starting to move in that direction right now. So we don't have much time left to be able to position ourselves correctly into some of those smaller cap altcoins. Another thing that's got me incredibly confident about the fact that sentiment is shifting from disbelief to belief is this. Right now, Bitcoin is pulled back to around $117,000 after reaching highs of around $123,000 yesterday, a pullback of around 2.4%. But instead of seeing altcoins bleeding in the streets everywhere, a number of larger cap altcoins are actually up today, and smaller cap altcoins in general haven't seen such bad days with the exception of a few. And that's because of this. The Bitcoin dominance has started to drop and is likely going to end up having one of these kind of phases like this, which ultimately means that everything goes crazy. We move from fear and disbelief and worry towards major euphoria. But we're pre-euphoria now, we just need to position ourselves ready for it. And if we go back to last November, I want to show where we're sat right now. You see, this is basically last November. And throughout this time, Bitcoin was in full recovery mode, about to break all-time highs. Nothing really happened. Many altcoins didn't move. Then Donald Trump won the election. We saw XRP going crazy, Cardano pumping, Sui pumping, Solana doing well. And then all of a sudden, around this point, into kind of like December, many small cap altcoins went and pumped really, really strongly. Right now, I think we're somewhere in and around this zone where we're starting to see the large caps waking up. And let me show you. This is XRP, one of the largest cap altcoins, has been running really, really strongly over the past week or so. Sui, another really large cap altcoin, has been running very strongly. A mid-cap altcoin like Sei hasn't been pumping quite as strongly, but is definitely waking up. But if you go down the list into smaller caps, many of them appear completely dead, but they won't be for long. Because as soon as Bitcoin and other altcoins start to pump up and continue to pump higher, and they will do because of the liquidity entering into the system, then you're going to start to see these companies starting to apply some of their treasury towards things like marketing, to their market makers to start pumping their price and make them appear to be the trending assets. You see, these coins don't pump because of retail, they pump and retail starts to buy them. If we get in before they start to play those games to bring everyone else in, then we can start to see some of the biggest growth. And if we position ourselves in small cap altcoins that have actually been delivering good products that actually are making revenue, then we know who's got the money in the bag to start pushing their coins forward. This is a good move because then we can identify ahead of time which coins will start to see some of the biggest growth, despite the fact that no one's really talking about them right now. And if you want to continue to find out about altcoins and things that no one else has really been talking about ahead of time, because these will be the altcoins that everyone starts to talk about after this video and beyond, make sure you subscribe to the House of Crypto, notification bell turned on, so that you can catch videos like this nice and early before everyone else so that you can get in before the hype and excitement sets in. And if you're not doing it already, go and follow me over on Peter_THOC, because you're going to hear over there exactly the time where I'm planning to launch my video so that you can get in ahead of time and ready and waiting to make those moves. Now guys, we're so close to going and checking out these 4 coins, but just before we do, I want to give you a little bit of a warning. Small cap altcoins are high reward potential, but they also come with high risk potential. Whenever Bitcoin chops up and down, it's not unusual to see small cap altcoins chopping up and down as well. I personally am happy to put money in and not really pay attention to these altcoins until sometime later this year, where in my mind there's a high probability that many of these altcoins will do a 20, 30, maybe even a 50x or more. But if I see moves from time to time from the next 24 hours to the next 48 hours, I couldn't care less. Okay, so invest in these, understanding their high risk assets, and don't go and sell all your other altcoins to go and buy into them. Now, first up, My Lovely Planet, a gaming project with an $18.8 million market cap. And I've been incredibly bullish on this project for quite a long time. If you're subscribed to my channel, you've probably heard of me talking about this before, but I'm pleased to say today that it's actually pulled back to a reasonable entry point after seeing some of the biggest gains back in kind of November, December. When I talked about small cap altcoins that pumped like crazy back then, I was pretty much referring to this and 1 or 2 others that I'm going to talk about later. Now, My Lovely Planet is a game from the makers of Candy Crush. These same developers came across and created a Web3 Candy Crush game that looks like this. And is actually, if you go and try it out, an incredibly addictive game that's actually probably better in general than Candy Crush. Now, unlike Candy Crush, which by the way in the past has managed to reach revenues of beyond $1 billion per year, My Lovely Planet is a blockchain game where individuals can play this game and they can earn different rewards. Not only that, but they can go and buy different game features to improve their gameplay. And this is why My Lovely Planet at the moment is making around $30,000 per month, which is obviously a fraction of what we see from projects like Candy Crush. But Candy Crush shows the potential of games like this. On top of this, they do something quite interesting, which is designed to kind of attract players into the game that Candy Crush doesn't do. And it's that they plant trees when you play the game. So within the game, when you achieve certain things, they'll go and plant trees for you. When you go and purchase different things, they will go and plant trees. This means that they can acquire a customer for around 12 cents per customer, compared with Candy Crush, where they pay around $1 to be able to acquire a new customer. My Lovely Planet is about to move towards a lot of marketing, not just within crypto to kind of move the price of their coin, but to bring a lot of people, Web2 gamers, to go and download their game. And think about this for a moment. If the game is using the MEXC token, and your mum or your grandma, who has nothing to do with crypto, goes and downloads this game and starts playing it because they like it, and they go and buy some of the in-game features, which means that they're buying MEXC tokens, they're actually entering into crypto without even realizing it. This is where I see games like My Lovely Planet, which already has 25,000 active users per month, suddenly becoming very powerful. And you can go and download this game for free. Check it out, okay? App Store, Google Play. By downloading the game, you can start to identify whether or not this is a project that you might be interested in investing in. Because obviously, with anything in crypto, these are products, right? These are businesses. You want to be able to invest in projects and businesses that have a high chance of success into the future. Don't just want to take my word for it. You can go and see more information about the team here. Now, I've heard on the grapevine that there's some really exciting announcements coming out over the next kind of week or two, but I'm not really sure exactly what those are going to be. I'll update you over on Twitter when I know more about what's going on. But right now, My Lovely Planet sits here. And this is what I was talking about, right? Back in November, XRP woke up on the week commencing the 4th of November, and it pumped until around the 2nd of December. If we jump across to My Lovely Planet, small cap altcoin, it pumped from around the 18th of November. It sort of went sideways for a bit, and then it went absolutely crazy within the 2 weeks that followed, where it went up 626%. But that wasn't until around the end of November. And bearing in mind that we've already seen XRP pumping for a couple of weeks, I think it's a very good chance that if we continue to see good price action from Bitcoin and large cap altcoins, that some of these small caps will wake up in the next week or two. And as you can see, luckily, because we've had this nice healthy pullback, many of these small cap altcoins are still in a good place. My Lovely Planet woke up like crazy back in April once we started to see the market recovering after that tariff news. Then we saw another sell-off again, and now we're in that buy zone once more. I think this is a really good entry personally for me. I've been getting into My Lovely Planet down in this zone. Where do I think it goes? From an $18 million market cap in such an exciting arena that is mobile phone gaming that can be accessed around the world mod that has the potential to onboard millions of users. Remembering Candy Crush has already got hundreds of millions of users. There's a potential here for this to go 100 mil market cap towards a 500 mil market cap if this bull market goes absolutely crazy and gaming catches excitement. From here, a 200 mil market cap is like 11x. A 500 mil market cap is like a 25 to sort of 30x. There's a potential that this goes even bigger. Gaming got absolutely insanely overvalued in the last bull market. It's a really retail-friendly place to be. But obviously not financial advice, of course. Go and do your own research into all of these different altcoins. Understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about, and you will start to understand why this is probably a pretty hot pick, given where it's at right this second. Now, jumping into the second project, with a $7.5 million market cap and in the AI narrative, Sensei. Next level growth with AI chatbots. Now, while you're starting to see a lot more of this coming online right now, few have done it with such accuracy as Sensei. And not only that, but with Sensei, you can create your own chatbots of yourself or other famous people from history or other people around you that you know. You can create your own AI customer team, community managers, community services, sales, etc. And it's something that I'm personally going to start to look to do, various Telegram groups that House of Crypto is running, and maybe bring in other assistants, because ultimately, unlike me, these AI agents don't have to sleep and they have access to information that I could only hope and dream to be able to access all at one moment without having to go and look it up. Now, as you can see, coming down and looking at these various testimonials, Sensei is already providing a product that is being utilized by various different industries, from social media to healthcare. You can build custom AI-powered experiences with the Sensei APIs. You can use Sensei to create a whole range of different products. Maybe it's just chatbots and things like that you can use for e-commerce websites and whatever else. But you can also do things like cloning replicas of yourself in less than 72 hours. You could coach teams with tailored guidance and lots of different other things, right? If you think about where the future is heading right now, it's clearly towards a lot of AI integrations. And what better way to kind of expose yourself to this growth than by finding crypto projects that are already selling their service. So I recommend coming across and checking out sensei.io. And here's why this project is incredibly interesting to me. Not only do I know that retail investors like to go towards certain projects and projects that actually catch their eye more than others out there. This is why we see a lot of growth in AI, gaming, and other things like that. But I also know that projects that have actually been able to sell products and stuff over time have good kind of money in their coffers. They're ready to kind of get things moving when the times are right. And this is what we saw from Sensei from this green box back in like November, December. We saw a pump something like 12, 13x. And the majority of that run came in 2 weeks, doing a 650% move. That was around the 25th of November. Remember, a lot of the large cap altcoins began to run around the 4th to the 6th of November. 10 to 15 days later, a lot of these small caps went absolutely bananas. And right now, Sensei is sat right down in this range, just back to all-time highs, 730%. That would take it to around a $50 million market cap. For this to go towards $200 million market cap beyond isn't unrealistic. For these tiny cap altcoins to capture a lot of excitement really isn't unheard of when we go into crazy bull market phases. And I think from these price levels, these are incredibly undervalued projects that really don't have that much more downside risk, considering where we're at in the market right now versus the upside potential. Like, let's say worst case scenario, Sensei comes back down 34%, but then really whenever the market wakes up, you can pump back to all-time highs very, very quickly within just a couple of weeks once the market sentiment is right. And also, there's a lot of other small cap altcoins that probably I won't get time to mention, or I might not even know. Let me know down below which small cap altcoins you think are the best valued ones out there, and I'll get into looking into them, and maybe I'll feature them on future videos. Now, before we look at the smallest altcoin gem of today with around a $3 million market cap, I want to jump across to the next one, Meticade. Meticade in the gaming narrative again with an $18 million market cap, and in my opinion, one of the most undervalued projects out there in the crypto market right now. And just for full transparency, as you probably already know, because I've been talking about these quite a lot over the past few months, I hold all of these projects, okay? I hold all of these, and I've been buying into them over the past year or so. I've been trying to buy as much as I can, because I'm aware of what happens to small cap altcoins whenever the market really starts to heat up. Now, whilst gaming has been pretty quiet recently, I'm pretty confident it's going to have a really strong run going forward because it's retail focused. I've already talked about that, right? Now, as we know, many retail investors enter into crypto through Coinbase. Coinbase is one of the biggest and easiest to use exchanges and is very retail friendly or newbie friendly. That's why a lot of new people enter into crypto through Coinbase, and anyone who's partnering up with Coinbase or in and around that is going to really benefit. This is where Meticade comes in. That's because Coinbase is getting rid of its wallet and starting to introduce a brand new super app to its 8 million current users. And this is going to bring huge utility towards the base chain, which is Coinbase's own blockchain. Now, Meticade was selected as one of 6 projects to have its own subchain off the base chain. Now, Meticade is now transforming its tournaments platform for online gaming, aiming to become the #1 crypto app store where you can buy lots of mini apps and different games to be able to interact with. And by interacting with these different games and things through this mini app store, you are going to use gas tokens, which are Meticade or MK tokens. This is going to upset the supply and demand model and ultimately start to put buy pressure on this particular coin. Just imagine that for a moment. 8 million users are now coming into Coinbase as the market heats up once more. And then they're going to be able to access the Meticade app store through the base chain. All of the microtransactions have fees burned. So every time people are interacting with these different games and things using the Meticade token, those tokens get burnt, taken out of supply. That's obviously a very positive thing as well, and adds value to the overall ecosystem and to those people who are holding that token. So in my opinion, this is just a bet on gaming plus the base chain plus understanding how retail operate in crypto markets. I believe the app is expected to drop sometime towards September, so positioning ourselves nice and early, knowing that that news is coming is probably a good move. Now, if we jump across to the chart, you can see that despite the market's being a bit choppy, Meticade, it's actually not been too bad. And I know you're going to be like, well, it came down a lot from these highs. Okay, it came down around sort of 84%. But guys, this is a small market cap coin. Many other small market cap coins absolutely died a death during this kind of like last kind of bearish phase of the market. Meticade, however, is just fallen back towards this kind of buy zone area here. And despite having a pretty strong week last week, it's now kind of pulled back a little bit to a decent price level. And if we jump back to November time, where we started to see XRP and SUI and everything pump up, Meticade actually ran a little bit earlier around then, but again saw most of its growth into the stage that followed as the small cap altcoins started to catch bids, etc. So where does it go from here? Well, the volume that I'm expecting to come into Coinbase, this potentially being the #1 crypto app store, it's almost insane when you think about the potential of this project, given that the market cap sits around $18 million right now. I think a reasonable estimate, without kind of being too crazy, is somewhere around the $500 million level, which would give us something like a 50x for this particular coin. But obviously in the short term, there's chop potential. This is why you want to be positioned mainly in kind of larger caps and have a little bit of exposure to smaller caps that you don't have to check on every single day because you're overexposed, okay? You don't want to be in a position where you're not sleeping at night because you're overexposed to smaller cap coins, okay? Get involved in them, sit back and wait for like November, December, and then you're going to be good to go. Now, the final altcoin today is Kaiko with a $3.7 million market cap, making it by far the smallest altcoin that I personally hold and the smallest altcoin that I'm going to talk about today. But despite the small size, Kaiko still has insane potential because actually it's already generating significant revenue and is fitting into a very key narrative within the crypto space, AI agents, and actually is adding something very critical to the success of AI agents into the future. Key partnerships and other things make Kaiko a very exciting proposition that I think is going to result in an incredible price prediction. And we'll look at that price prediction slightly later on, but just for now, let's dive across and look at the Kaiko website and find out a little bit more about it. Now, Kaiko is bringing in the next era of artificial intelligence by combining EQ and AI. This is where agents feel, adapt, evolve emotionally in real time. And it's basically an essential element of AI agents. Think about AI agents right now. A lot of the times you're talking or interacting with them, they don't feel real. They don't really feel human-like. This is something that's going to change in a big way in the coming weeks, months, and years ahead as we start to see AI being integrated into huge different parts of our lives. Now, if you look up here on the right-hand side, you can see Anima. And Anima's pretty cool because she is the first emotionally intelligent AI. And I think over the next few weeks and stuff, we're going to see more demonstrations of Anima working. Now, Kaiko combines emotional intelligence with AI, not just with this AI agent, but in another platform that can be used to understand sentiments and things going around in the market and ultimately enable traders to understand how to make better trades. Now, this is the ARC terminal, which is launching soon, and it allows users to earn soul-bound points and interact with EQ and agents in a creator-powered AI economy. And so far, they've generated $370,000 this year already and are expected to reach around 1.5 million ARR very soon. They've been able to do this by scaling partnerships with both Aether and Diffusion, and they're also partnered with my own project, Perceptron, which will be launching sometime over the next few weeks. Stay tuned for more information about Perceptron in coming videos. I'll probably make a whole video about Perceptron explaining exactly what it is and upcoming pre-sales, etc., so that you can get involved in that. Now, what really excites me about Kaiko is it's fitting into a very key narrative, which is the AI agent arena. Also bringing in real revenue that can be injected back into this particular product. And it also leverages a creator economy where it monetizes creators coming in and supporting its network. And it's a symbiotic relationship where creators and stuff can talk about this product in more detail. Think about cookies and Kaitos and others like that, which are really benefiting and growing because of having the support from various influencers who are benefiting from interacting with the platform. Okay, let's talk about price predictions. Obviously, Kaiko right now is working in a very key narrative, one that's going to see a lot of attention as the market becomes more bullish again. Now with revenue generation and the main launch of Arc Terminal coming up very soon, I think we're going to see a huge amount more attention shift across to Kaiko. They have centralized exchange listings in the pipeline and other major partnership announcements coming up. These kind of things are going to be catalysts that see Kaiko rise very quickly from around $3 million market cap to around $15 million market cap, which is like a 5x. But that's in a short space of time. By the end of the bull market, I don't think it's unrealistic to see Kaiko pushing towards the 50 to 100 mil valuation. If it hits to 100 mil, that's around a 30x from this current price point. If, however, it can push towards 200 mil, then you're looking towards 60x or maybe even more. Now, obviously, this is a small cap altcoin. It's high reward, but it comes with obvious risks. In the short term, you can expect to see price chopping around. I do think that we're going to see it moving quite quickly, but obviously go and do your own research. Don't invest money that you can't afford to lose in smaller cap altcoins, and go and position yourself ready to be able to get out of the bull market sometime in November, December. Don't worry yourself too much about day-to-day moves. Ultimately, small cap altcoins are a longer term position, right? That's what we're looking for here. Now, guys, if you want to pick up any of these coins, with the exception of Kaiko, which is available through dexscreener.com, so it's on Solana network, you'll need to put money into a Phantom wallet. Should you wish to buy it, you can then trade it here on Radium. All the others can be found through trading exchanges like WEEX and Bitunix, which are both linked down below in the description. If you want to go and sign up for those two exchanges, then they don't require KYC. They come with some of the lowest fees around, and you're going to be able to access small cap altcoins. You won't be able to access small cap altcoins by going to Coinbase, Binance, etc. So make sure you're set up and ready, because as you hear about these coins coming into the future, you want to be able to move fast, buy into them nice and early, because lots of excitement and hype will drive the prices higher. Pretty confident this is a great time to be in the markets. Pretty confident we're in the very early stages of a major blow off top bull market that's going to finish sometime towards November, December, maybe beyond. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye-bye.